Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in. Check out your boy P Funk thinking right out here in my lab, and I'm in the book. We got the Isis Mysteries of Isis rabbit hole. She's the goddess of wisdom. She's the knowledge lady. So we're going into her thing. She's the big on yoga, and that's what we're gonna practice. We're gonna do how to master what we call integral yoga. Should be fun. Let's rock. Rightism, 25 rules to live by. Storytelling, story with a message. There's always a message in my stories for life. I give life lessons. You tune in and receive them. I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's do what we do. Right thinking mission, and I'm on it, is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinker's way of life through mental and spiritual discipline, practice daily, will help and guide you to obtain your goal of reaching your goal of spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission is that all right thinkers know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to know thyself. See where we're going with this? Let's get that together. So I asked the question, do you know you? Well, when I get through, that's what I do for you. It's rhetorical, but if you don't have an answer for yourself, tune in. I got you. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them, don't be them. A person who knows not and knows that they know. They know that they know not. So they're simple, but you can teach them. That's why I do what I do. For you, appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believe or think that they know is dangerous, avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know, especially sleep, I can awaken them. I'm your spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you, right? Thinkers, know thyself and to Maya be true. All right, we're going to talk about mastering integral yoga disciplines. And we're gonna break it down for you. Ooh, I got nice. This is gonna be nice. Yeah, that's right. All right. The personality of every human being is somewhat different. We are individuals for a reason. This thing right here is uniquely yours. Everything else is universal across the board. So let's understand that. So we are all somewhat different from each other. No, none two people are the same. Even when you're born in the same womb, five, six, I don't care how many come out, they're all individuals. Moving on. It don't change because of the birth. Individuals. Okay, understand that. So, however, the sages of yoga have identified we got four basic factors which are common in all of us in our personalities. We all have them. And these factors are emotions. We all have them. Reasoning, right thinking. I can't say we all have the ability to obtain that. Action, okay. Service, doing something, okay. And will. That's your ability to what? Meditate and get things done within yourself. Those are all different concepts that when you practice them and put them in perspective and master them, you would be a bad individual. Watch this. And that's the goal, for you to be your best self in any situation. So these factors, and this means that in order for you, a human being, to evolve spiritually, intellectually, emotionally, they need to do these things. And all aspects of your personality must progress in what they call the integral fashion. They're all going together. So therefore, your four major forms of yoga disciplines have evolved, and each one of them is specifically designed to promote a positive movement in one of the areas of your personality. And when you take care of each area, you have reached self mastery. See where we're going with this? And this is what the monks and the priests learn when they go to study. I ain't going nowhere. You ain't got to go nowhere. Just learn and study it. Okay? So, but the yoga of devotional love, that's emotions. Okay, that's the first part. We're gonna lock each level, each factor, we're gonna lock it in with the other part that goes with it. Emotion, devotional love. Okay. With me, emotion is ego. Okay, it wants what it wants. But this different concept we use the yoga philosophy, and they saying devotional love is the one you have what? Love enhances and harnesses your emotional aspect of the human personality, and you direct it where? Towards your higher self. There we go. So now the second one is the yoga of wisdom. That's I said. And that's to enhance what? And harness your reasoning factor, right thinking, your ability to make sense and have understanding of what's being presented to you. Your reasoning faculty have to be sharp. Practice that, okay? Right thinking, again, wisdom. And this is your other part of your human personality, and it should be directed toward what? Your higher self. Everything we doing is for what? To get understanding with our higher self knowledge. But the yoga, my favorite, the yoga of action. It enhances and it harnesses the movement and the right behavior aspect of the individual personality. And you direct that toward, yep, your higher self. Again, after selfish service, you're going to do what? The yoga of my favorite, meditation. And that enhances and harnesses your will aspect, your willing aspect to what? Do what's right. And that's in all human personality. And you also direct that to your higher self. I know God is watching. That's why I went about the eye. I'm conscious of everything I say and do. And I keep my heart pure. No sneaky, deceitful, underhanded stuff. I'm transparent. That's the difference. And I benefit from that. Ain't gonna do it nobody else. Why? What I do don't make you fat. What you eat don't make me fat. So how I live, that no because on you. How you live ain't nothing to do with me. We're responsible for ourselves. And this is the life lesson I'm trying to get you to understand. Damn what somebody else is doing or not doing. Mo, stop worrying about anything outside yourself. It's time to be selfish. When you want self mastery, you got to be selfish and master the qualities that you need of yourself to make you a master of oneself. It's done by actions, not with a bunch of, I'm going to do this, I'm going to be there. Yeah. Action. That's right. Emotion, you feel it. Reason, you act on it. You think about it. Action, you put it to use, you do something. And will is your ability to have it all under control from yourself. This yoga is a discipline, again, of spiritual living, hence spiritual discipline. To live a spirit, not a religious, like I go to church, everything. No. A spiritual lifestyle is keeping God first. They say everything you do for what? Your higher self. That's God. I'm God conscious. I ain't a God fanatic. I'm like, oh God. No. I got God understood. Okay, I got intelligence, intellectual understanding of God from that perspective, from the discipline that I practice and I learn, which transforms when you live a spiritual lifestyle, doing the right thing, living right. This will transform every aspect of your personality in what we call, again, an integral fashion, a way where every situation you got to deal with, you have a discipline and philosophy to help you get through it. And when you master that, there's no situation in life that you can't deal with. And when you leaving, and by not leaving no aspect of your human being behind, mean you cover every aspect. That's mastery. That's self-mastery. And this is important because an unbalanced movement won't go. It only will lead to what? Frustration and more ignorance, more distractions, and even more illusions, and leading you away from what? Your higher self. You're going the wrong way. Listen, when you see people doing something that you know is wrong, let them be. Why? They're not going to listen to you. When you got people who believe in what they believe in, don't try to teach them that. Why? They're not going to listen. Leave them be. Some people in self-mastery teaches you, don't cast your pearls at swine. A lot of people are swine. No disrespect, but they don't want it. So don't waste your time trying to give it to them. That's all. It ain't a bad thing. No. Philosophically, they don't want what you got. You leave them alone. You find somebody who do want what you have, and you engage with them. Simple. For example, if a person develops their reasoning aspect, thinking right, that's my favorite. Okay, you become intellectual. You become a little smarter. So you play devil advocate most of the time. What? That's my yacht. Balancing out. You say left, I say right. You say up, I say down. Let's negotiate and see who's right. So it's always an aspect of what? Both sides. There's two sides to a coin. All right. Whatever side you pick, I take the opposite. That's all. I ain't got a problem with that. But I stand on mine. And it's all about the aspect of your personality. So he or she come to now believe that they have discovered what? Their higher self. Those are the worst people. Those, Jesus Christ. And most of them are religious fanatics, be it Christian, Islam. The Jews ain't so much, but they got a different philosophy. They're not hell bent on emotion. Jews don't get all caught up in that. They practice pretty much the philosophy out of Egypt, so they're not caught up in emotions like the Christians. So, in the Muslims, they all, what the hell? Your religion is important to you. All that's important to you, but respect other people's right to have what's important to them. What's important to you ain't got to be important to me. And what's important to me ain't got to be important to you. But respectfully, I do what I do, and you can do what you do. What I do don't harm or affect you, so what is the problem? Moving on. That's why harmony means two opposites that's going to get along. Of course, you do something different than me, don't mean we can't get along. And that's what you're doing is going to harm or affect me, and now we have a problem. But other than that, no. So when you get in reasoning, logic, and understanding, now you're able, a lot of people who fall short because they think they learned a few things. I know. No, it ain't about knowing. It's about living and experience. Okay? So, however, when it comes to dealing, watch this, with some problem in life, they talk about how much they seen God, they enlightened. I miss that. Okay, yeah. Rah, sis, boom, bah. Okay, watch this. I call them cheerleaders. Such as when a death of a loved one, they lose their damn mind. Oh, I thought you. My sister and my mother showed me they got their act together when my niece died. And I know we all felt the same way. But I was on a whole nother level. Back then, I was already there. So I'm watching them, and I was so impressed. They didn't freak out. But my mom had to speak. I'm ready. I said, look, my little brother said, you grab Tony, I'll take mommy. My mom got up. I went to go, she's not good, I'm good. Go great your bad self. And she handled herself accordingly and very well, knowing her granddaughter, she loved, but things happen. And you deal with it. Nobody freaked out. I was so glad to see how my family handled death. And a lot of people freak out with death. I ain't one of the people. When he died, I freaked out. I eat that one. No more. I love my mother to death, but when she leave, I ain't gonna freak out. Why? I'm above that. I'm past that. When he died, I was still ignorant. I freaked out. I lost my damn mind. Okay, I got caught up in the hype. Okay, that's been ignorant, and I was. So again, I commit to that. Moving on. But when it comes to dealing with that problem of life, such as the death of a loved one, they cannot control what the emotions. They got a little reason, they got a little information about knowledge, but they forgot the emotional control over oneself when you deal with death of a loved one or a situation that's hit home and you just lose it. So that means you're not mastery. You haven't reached self-mastery. Okay, that's what that means. Or if they are tempted to do something unrighteous. Fellas, that who think you the man, you married, don't do it. Don't do it. That's where your willpower comes in. You got to be smart enough to realize I'm not doing that. Why? For a momentary pleasure, cost me my marriage. A lot of people do that for that moment. That's the ego. Say, go ahead, yeah. That guy don't think about the repercussions. Okay, you got to worry about that. So you should control him. Don't let him control you and get you in situations that you don't know how to get out. Such as, okay, bad habit, smoking. If you know smoking ain't good for you, I don't smoke. So I don't give a damn about cigarettes. I could care less how much they cost. That means nothing to me. I don't do drugs. I don't care about people ODing, people fitting up. I don't give a damn about none of them people. Why? I got nothing to do with that. Got nothing to do with me. But if you choose that, you deal with that. I don't have to. Man, you cold. You know, look at passion. No, I could care less about what people do to themselves. Okay? My best friend committed suicide. I didn't freak out. I understood he had some issues that I didn't know about. Wish I could have helped him out. But I ain't got a problem with that, what somebody else do to themselves. Simple. But they can't not control their actions, their discipline, their self-discipline, and they have no willpower to resist bad and negative things that they know is wrong. If you willingly do wrong, I sold drugs, I know it's wrong, so I took my licks like a man. But now I'm teaching a concept that I've learned myself. If you know it's wrong, you shouldn't do it. If you know it's wrong, you do it, you should be punished. Simple as that. Moving on. That's the consequences. When you know it's wrong and you do it, accident, mistake, yeah. But when you willingly, no, I got no compassion for you. But the vision of integral yoga is what we call a lofty goal, which every human being who wants to learn and master self can achieve. Okay, with what? The proper guidance. The proper guidance. I'm only taking you down the road that I ventured down. I'm not taking you a new road. I don't know what to know. I know just what's on this road. Trust me. That's my point. I can get you there. And you need what? My favorite, self-effort. If you ain't putting in the work, I can't work with you. I can't do nothing for you, man. Why? If you ain't doing it for yourself, ain't nothing I can do. And that's how God feels as the same concept to God. You take a step to him, he'll work with you. You ain't taking a step to him, and nothing he can do for you. Realize that. And self-effort and what is repeated when daily practice. So there is a very simple philosophy behind integral yoga. You practice what you learn. You put into use the things that you're learning. You become master of the things that they put out there, the philosophy that's laid out there. Once you master it, now you can do what you want. And that's what I'm doing. But during the course of any day, you may find yourself doing various activities and living your life. But these are the philosophy you can integrate in your work, daily life. I'm showing you right now. Sometimes you will even be quiet. That's meditation time. At other times, you will be busy at work doing whatever you do. And at other times, you may be what? Now you interacting with people, etc. You handling your business, you doing what you're supposed to do. But with integral yoga mastered, it gives you the opportunity to practice what all of them at the same time. You can implement them whenever you need them. And when you have quiet time, that's when you can practice your meditation. And when you're at work, you can practice what? Righteous actions, selfless service, helping others out, doing something that's, supposed to be done, but making sure it's getting done. So that's a selfless service. And when you have leisure time, now you do what? You study. I can't wait to get out from here. I can't wait. Well, I got time in. Why? That's when you reflect on what? The teachings that you're learning. And when you feel the sentiment of love for another person, spiritual love, I call it, or an object, now you can practice what? Remembering what we call what? Divine self, who made it possible for you. Everything my pastor does, he makes sure he give God his due. And everything you experience with the company of those personalities covered, or an opportunity to acquire those objects from a higher perspective, you can practice what? Self-reflecting on how the people and the objects in creation are expressions of the divine. And this movement will lead you to have a spontaneous and perpetual state of what? Ecstasy, peace, and bliss within oneself. When you're doing the things you need to do, handling the things you need to handle, that's where you be. I'm in that state. That's that place where you go just because I can go there. If you don't have that place, you can't go there. So, in which are what? The hallmarks of what we call spiritual enlightenment. The purpose of the integral yoga mastery is so therefore it's promoting your integration of your whole personality in every aspect, every area. You got it covered, you got it mastered of your human being, your human self, and which will lead you to what we call complete enlightenment. Self-mastery, know thyself. All the things you call, but the work you put into obtain that. Once you do that, you can call it whatever you want. Okay? But thus, integral yoga, when mastered, should be understood and will be understood as what? The most effective method to practice mystical spirituality to gain what? Self-knowledge. These are things that you had to do for yourself. And once you do that, it is yours, hence self. So the important point here to remember is that all these aspects, emotion, reason, action, and will, sex, devotion, wisdom, service, and meditation, Those things, once you combine them, once you understand and master and practice them, now you have all aspects of yoga, and you can and should be used what? Integral fashion again to generate an efficient and a harmonized spiritual movement within oneself, you the practitioner or right thinker. Therefore, while you may be in an area of special emphasis that you particularly care, other elements are bound to become part of the yoga program as needed. To have it when you need it, you can go to it. For example, right quick, while a yogin may place emphasis on the yoga of wisdom, which right then we got to study ourselves. That's a you got to have that knowledge. And they may also practice what? Devotional love for God. That's cool too. You can put that into effect. Okay. And then you back it up with meditation, yoga. And with the wisdom studies that you're putting forth, furthermore, it will be most easy for you to understand that as you practice one path of yoga, others will also develop automatically. Why? You putting them in use when you need them. For example, as you practice the yoga of wisdom, your faith will increase, or as you practice yoga of devotion in God, your wisdom also will increase. See how I go? Know thyself, know God. Know God, know thyself. That's how the yin and the yang concept. But if this movement does not occur, and your wisdom alone will be dry intellectualism, meaning you talk a good one. You got to understand that. I know a guy who know a lot about the Bible. Educate, yeah, but don't do a damn bit. You're a fraud. Like my man Alan Watts said, you can talk a good game, but you don't live none of it. So the authenticity and respect, you lose all of that. Right down the tube. So your knowledge is now intellectualism, nonsense, rhetoric. That's all it is. Nothing to back it up, nothing to stand on. I stand on truth, honesty, in the American way, yeah. But no, I understand what I'm doing, and I stand on what I know to be the truth. And what's this? Unless the movement does not occur when your wisdom alone is just what you got with no will, no understanding, you are just dry intellectualism with a bunch of words. Or your faith alone will be blind faith for y'all followers of something that you don't know about. So when we speak of wisdom, here we are referring to the wisdom that's gained through your own experience of what, or your intuitional wisdom, and not intellectual wisdom, which is speculative. Again, in masonry, we have operative and speculative. Speculative is all mental. Okay, all mine. That's fine. Okay, but you need to have the operative to put with it. Teach you that lesson a while ago. But if you do not practice what you teach, if you don't practice and live what you preach, stop. Nobody should listen to you. And through the yoga of action, I call it selfless service, right? In philosophy, and your wisdom and your faith, you good to go. And you will be shallow. Watch this. You will be shallow. You have not experienced what we know to be the truth of these teachings because you ain't lived them. The truth is in manifesting what you're learning. And watch this. Allow you the opportunity to test your knowledge with every day or your faith every day. If you do, you have to live it. You want to put it to the test, you do that. Sorry. But if you do not have introspection, self within yourself, and faith to believe what you're doing is right, and the wisdom and the actions, you will be externalized. That means you will be agitated. Everything is going on. You have no control over nothing. And you will be so distracted that your spiritual realization will be insubstantial, weak. You will be a weak person lacking stability, faith, understanding, and self-knowledge. We call those ignorant people. There's a lot of them. But watch this. And you will not be able to meet the challenges of your life on a day-to-day basis. So you will not be able to discover true spiritual realization. You will not be able to discover knowledge of self. You will not know who you are. And in this lifetime, that means when you die. Therefore, your integral path of yoga with the proper guidance is the most secure method to achieve genuine spirituality or spiritual enlightenment. Because ignorant people will die, but the spirit got to come back, reincarnation in another body, another spirit, another spiritual body. But that's the game that we play right now. And when you obtain the spiritual enlightenment, when you reach that level, the Greek name Isis is the name for the ancient Egyptian goddess who was regarded as the very embodiment of wisdom. That's what Aset means. But her ancient Egyptian name was Aset. The wisdom teachings in the temples that were set up for her in her name, Aset, was known as, she taught Aset. We know she taught Netta the study of the gods, okay? We studied her, goddess. We will concentrate on the wisdom teachings of the temple from Temple Aset. And for our study of the yoga of wisdom, the word yoga is the Sanskrit term meaning to unite the individual with the cosmic, meaning you with God. That's what it means, okay? So, in ancient Egypt, the term was called Smai, S-M-A-I. It meant the same thing, Egyptian yoga, okay? And it's the semi-Tawi Egyptian yoga, study of two lands. All right, but it means in the English term, it has been used for the title of a book for the ease of communicating since the words Isis, y'all know that more than Aset, and yoga, you know that more than Sma. So we play the game, and you have received wide popularity in recent years. So we use that because you're familiar with it. Now I want to give you a quick breakdown of the relationship between religion and yoga. I tell you, right thing philosophy is not a religion. There's a difference between religion and yoga. Here's a little quick breakdown. I'm gonna take you through it right quick. Wrapping up with that. I see. All right, I got to go for it. I went this far. I got to get it. I do the religion lesson next, but I wrap this up with this. The relationship between religion and yoga. Steps in the practice of religion. There are three. The myth. It says mythology, meaning learning the story of the god or the goddess. In Christian form is the God Jesus, okay? And devotion to divinity, learning how to care and love the divine. Again, that's God, okay? Exoteric wisdom about life and spirit. You hear that? Exoteric, meaning the outside, the outer, which is, to me, surface grammar school nonsense, okay? The baby food, okay? But I teach esoteric knowledge for the fact of meaning I teach the inner understanding of oneself. Religion teaches you the outer. That's one of the differences. Understand that? Okay? So the first one, they said, is mythology. That's what they teach you. Exoteric mythology. Okay, again. Next one is ritual. That means the ceremonies related to the myth. Going to church every Sunday. First Sunday, practice the communion, drinking the blood of Christ and eating the body. Okay, that's all ceremony. That's ritual. Okay, you practice that related to the myth. And right living, even in the religious concept, y'all have to live right in accordance with your principles set forth by the deity in the myth. Y'all got Moses, he gave you the 10 Commandments. You got to live by that. We got Maya, she gave us 42 confessions. See? So whatever it is you practicing, I ain't got a problem with it. But if you do it the way it's intended, it should work for you. Like right thing philosophy. I know it worked. Why? I practice it. I use it. That's how I know. Again, if you're a master of anything, it's because you've done it. That's it. So the last one. This is the purpose, and this is the Masonic order. 3 degrees. Religious concept of practice is 3 things: mythology, the ritual, and the mysticism. What's the mysticism? That's when you live by the rituals, live right. You will have an experience. That's the Kundalini arising, and y'all call it the mysticism, a mystical experience. Okay, whatever you call it, that's what's going on. But you have to live right in order for it to happen. Okay, and mysticism is, I don't hear religion professing meditation. It says right here, mysticism, meditation. Why? Because it's all up here. God is up here in the temple. Okay, not made with human hands. So it means it's mental, it's mind. And the first law of Hermetic principles tells you that all is mental. Okay, the universe is mind. All coming from what? God's mind. So Here we go. Esoteric wisdom about life in the spirit. That's what I teach. And that comes along the idea of what? Meditation, yoga, philosophy, disciplines that we can practice, 42 Confession Maya. All those are things that you can practice and manifest. Okay. And in the end, you should have what they call spiritual transcendence, meaning you enlighten, you know God for yourself. From a religious concept, this is what y'all supposed to do. Become one with Christ, whatever y'all do, live like Christ. Okay, that's your philosophy. Now let's talk about the intricate yoga discipline, which is right thinking philosophy we practice. Right quick. The intricate yoga discipline is to enlighten the intellect. Okay? Give you knowledge. Yoga of wisdom teaches you just that. That's the purpose. Next one is to enlighten what? Your emotions. Teach you how to control them, and your love for God. Your devotional love to God means you're going to live right, do right, and practice. All my Christian family is practice this one. They don't know it, but that's what they practice. Okay? Why? They emotionally love for Jesus. They act on it, and they practice it daily. Next one, number 3 for us is the enlightenment of the body. Physical fitness is a must. Exercise is a must. Not a minus, but a plus. If you're not exercising, that's yoga of right action. If you ain't putting your work in physically, you ain't gonna last long. Okay, that's important. Last one is to enlighten what we call the unconscious mind, the subconscious. No, yoga of formal meditation. You have to put your ignorance to rest. Okay? You have to communicate through what? Your daily meditation, your righteous living, and ignorance will be eradicated of oneself and everything else. Hope you enjoyed the lesson. I got to go, but in right thinking, in closing, may you all live to be 100, me, 100 miles a day. So I'm none of my right thinkers who now understand the mastery of integral yoga and passed away. I'll be right back with religion. And again, it's a practice that should be understood. I'm going to break it down for you one more time. I'll be right back.